hung low. Guitars bend, pads breathing, the slow. Breath held tight, the storm starts to grow. We sharpen the truth, ready to explode. You can't call out rhinos if you're a rhino. Speak with a mic, the beat's not about the tone. Oh, cash just saints blink while the crowd loses sane. Oh, I spit raw pages, every line a broken homo. Can't be bought, can't be sold. Gave my soul to truth, not gold. We raise the flags while the fate keeps cold.
Jesus, I like that song so much, dude. I really do. I think we're going to amp up the intro just a little bit.
Just
So,
a little bit. I can send you some more footage.
yeah, we should have tons of B-roll now.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
got a lot.
tons of B-roll at this point. But yeah, no, obviously the name of the show today is Bannon's getting a pardon. That's the word on the street. So evidently they've cleared way for Trump to be able to pardon this guy, which makes absolutely no sense. And we're going to go into detail about why it makes no sense. And when we talk about some of the other Trump pardons that make absolutely no sense at all. What's your take on all this bullshit with the pardons, dude?
Well, with the pardons themselves, it seems like they're bought and paid for. So if you got enough money, you can kind of pay your way out of crime, which it just kind of further amplifies the two-tier justice system that happened under Biden. It happens under Trump. It happens under, Obama. It's happened the entire time that I've been around, or at least aware of politics.
Yeah.
But
not like this though. This has been ridiculous. Like, what was it? YB Youngboy or something like that? The guy breaks into a pharmacy, steals thousands of dollars in drugs, caught dead to rights. And the pharmacist he robbed has to go through more bullshit than the guy who robbed him. And this guy gets a pardon. He's some rapper. Then you have there's like at least 2 pedos. And I'm sure there's more if I look, that have been pardoned. And then there's the guy with did 6 months into a 20-year term or whatever it was, stealing millions of dollars. And, this, what is it called? Go home law, whatever the hell it's called for Israel, that they just send everyone back to Israel. And then that's it. Like, we never can extradite them again. Nothing.
Well, did you see that the Trump was talking big about, who leaked the information about the second, what was it? The second guy in Iran, and it was an Israeli journalist, because Trump was all about, he's like, jail might not be enough for this guy and blah, blah, but it just came out that it's an Israeli journalist. So, and apparently,
well, I guess he gets a skate.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Look, listen, I can speak to this with some authority. We had a one-time member of PPN go on what I call Israeli propaganda tour. While she was there, bombs started dropping, and they hit her underground and put her on a student airplane and get her into another country. Then finally back here, where she was met by DeSantis when she got off the plane in Florida. But what I found out while she was there is that journalists can't just report in Israel. They have let's just call it what it is, a propaganda office. Even if you're a foreign journalist, you got to take your footage and send it to them, but they have to approve it before you can use it.
Isn't that interesting?
No freedom of the press. No freedom of the press.
They take everyone trip there though.
So I learned today that we are anti-Semitic for some reason or another. I didn't know. I'm so glad they told me, because I had no clue at all that I just because I criticized the country and called them out on their bullshit, that all of a sudden I hate everyone who lives in that country by virtue of their nationality or ethnicity. It's the most ridiculous thing. When do we turn into the left? A bunch of whining crybabies that when you're criticized, you yell racism.
I think there's always been a certain group that you weren't allowed to criticize.
Yeah, it makes me want to just criticize them even more.
Well, that's been that's actually the problem that I've been facing lately, because whenever I bring this up, I get a whole bunch of people that start commenting saying that I'm being anti-Semitic, I'm going down a bad road. Why am I going down this way? And I'm like, you're not addressing anything that I'm saying. You're not saying I'm a liar, but you're just saying that I'm treading on anti-Semitism, or that I am an anti-Semite, or that I've always been a Jew hater and now it's just coming to light.
You're just showing your true colors, Maurice.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what they've been saying. And it's like, no, I've been consistent. It's just that right now, Israel has been in the forefront, especially with Joe Kent coming out saying that, hey, they pressured Trump into starting this war and jumping into this war. And it's like, it may not be 100% true, but there's definitely some truth to it. And the more that I see, when Israel's blowing up the negotiator that we have to Iran.
Yeah, saw that.
Am I supposed to say silent about that? What the fuck?
Every time we're getting ready to do some sort of a peace talk, they go in and bomb or kill the person that we're going to talk to, like the guy that Vance was supposed to meet in the Middle East, and they go over and kill the guy's wife.
So this kind of shit irritates me. It really, really irritates me because I'm not. I used to think that, I don't like saying like I got a problem with authority. I have a problem with illegitimate authority. Okay, like if I respect you and I trust your decisions, I will fall in line. I will gladly follow somebody if I trust and respect them. But when there's a whole bunch of randoms on the internet telling me that I'm anti-Semitic, not disputing what I said, but they're just calling me names. It's the same thing as when people say that I, every time I criticize black culture, they're like, "Oh, you hate the blacks, you're just racist." Like, no. I literally have a cousin who married a black guy, and they got a couple of kids together. He's a great guy. He's an electrician. He actually married her. He's a good guy.
He actually married her.
Yeah.
That doesn't bode well for your cousin that you say it like that. Shit, dude.
Well,
freaking married her. It's like saying, "Oh, I'm not racist. I got black friends."
Oh, dude, I saw this thing the other day. It was so. I posted on my timeline just cause it was on Easter that I posted for some reason, but somebody sent it to me, and dude, I just started dying laughing. It was like this anime thing, and he's like, "I can't be racist because racism is a crime, and crime is for the blacks." And and that kind of shit, like racial humor, cracks me up. I find it funny.
As long as that's the rule, bro. As long as it's funny, that's it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're talking about white people, purple people, whatever. If the shit's funny, it's funny, right?
Yeah.
And get over yourself. That's, I mean.
Yeah, I don't have a problem, like, inherently, with black people. I do have a problem with black culture. And I have a problem with the entirety of the whole gangster culture.
I don't see it as black culture, though. It's the culture itself.
The
and
mainstream.
It's multicolored, and I mean, I've seen it. It's up close.
Yeah, that was my point, though. Is like that culture that's pushed on young black Americans. The Native Americans adopted that same culture on the reservation. So, and then Hispanics too. Like all of it, that entirety of gangster culture. Ugh,
Gangsta.
It's gross. I can't stand it. So I'm going to judge you if you walk up looking like that. Like Tom McDonald, I judged him initially, but I listened to his words and I saw what he started to do, and I was like, oh, I actually like this guy. So that's a horrible example because he's white, but he looks like that gangster culture, So
he does. He definitely got the tats on his face and the whole bit, right? So there is that. But no, the thing is, it's like it's always been about culture and not about color, right? That's always been the issue. That's always been what we've stood by or believed. And they all too often, they cut you off using identity politics to try to tell you that it's You have to excuse a little commercial playing in the background. Pilled always makes you listen to some little commercial when you first sign in. What is this? Oh shit.
It's just funny, man. Like I love humor like this because I don't know, it's just funny to me.
Let's break down the anti-Semitism thing
yourself.
real quick, right?
All right,
Because I've done this a multitude of times, but 1800 years, it all comes from Christianity. Let's just call it what it is. It comes from Christianity, and it made its way into Christianity about a little over 100 years ago, thanks to a guy named Darby and Schofield. And they changed the Bible. One wrote a book about how his translation of the Bible, and then Schofield made a reference guide. And that is when the whole idea that if you're a Christian, you have to believe these things. You have to worship the nation state of Israel and all of these various things. It all stemmed from that. 1800 years of Christianity never believed that. In fact, when Christ left, when he ascended, right before he ascended, he judged Israel and destroyed the temple. He said, nothing will be left standing here. Who was he arguing against? The Pharisees and the Sadducees. I would put the modern day religious Judaism in that category. They reject Christ. They teach the Kabbalah. They say he's burning in hell in a pot of feces. You can't get more anti-Christ than that. So if that's why you're calling me an anti-Semite, have at it. I'm a Christian. And if you're a Christian worth his salt, you should feel the same way.
That's what they teach. It's like, I'm not just saying, like, that's what they're teaching. That's what they're saying. There's nothing else that I can do about that. I'm relaying the information to you, and somehow that's anti-Semitic. But so the thing is that when people just throw that word around willy-nilly,
cop out.
It makes me want to irritate them more and be hyperbolic with, my criticism of Israel or making it seem like I am that way, because I don't really care what a lot of those people think, and I'm not looking to be in whatever club that they think that I should be in, or I'm not looking to be in the club of creators that are all politically correct. I'm just not. I don't care. Like I started speaking out because I believe that we've gotten into this situation by not speaking out. And if I'm looking to just, monetize myself or get into certain clubs or fancy parties or whatever it may be, then I've lost my way.
Exactly.
So if I can't say what I need to say, or if I can't relay information that should be relayed and be part of the conversation, then what the hell am I even doing here?
Yeah, right. Just another reverberating talking head, echo chamber, go along to get along, that sort of thing. The truth is always something that gets you attacked, right? And I knew it. I said, look, wait about a week or so after CPAC. I said, watch. It doesn't matter who it is. Like I said, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace, on down the line. Anyone who starts criticizing Israel, doesn't matter who it is. As long as you start criticizing Israel, you are on that list. And they've said as much. They said, the FBI guy said, one of the guys at the Southern Poverty Law Center said that they are employing people to search the internet to find people criticizing the nation state of Israel, and they're turning their names over to the FBI. They literally said it. Right? He's like, you can't talk like that. Let me turn you into the. I had people in the damn comment section saying they were reporting me to the FBI for being anti-Semitic, and I never even said the word Israel. All I did was allude to the fact there were more flags of other nations at CPAC than there were American flags, and they just assumed everything else. First, they assumed I hated them, then they assumed I was anti-Semitic. All assumptions. All assumptions.
What if I just don't like any of them?
Well, that's it. That's it. I think you said it best.
It's not because they're specifically Iranian or specifically because they're Israeli. It's specifically because they're not American.
Mm-hmm.
That's
exactly.
That's the
I'm not
reason why.
anti anybody. I'm just pro American. At the end of the damn day, but I am against giving them any more money, any kind of money that we're giving them. 9 million citizens. They get billions of dollars each year. Their daughters and sons grow up to get this savings account when they get out of the IDF because they have to serve 2 years, and they're wealthy. They're wealthy from the get with your money, with my money, and then that money comes back into the United States to pay our politicians to work on behalf of another nation state, which makes absolutely no freaking sense. I made this, and I think this kind of goes over the situation even more, but I explained it in detail in this right here.
For my brothers and sisters in Christ, and I'm going to speak to you today from the heart with real love and truth, but it's all stern honesty, because the church has been led astray on something that's extremely important. You've heard the teaching. True Christians must be Zionists. We have to stand with the modern state of Israel no matter what, or God won't bless us. Some preachers push this like it's the most important thing in the Bible, except for it's not in the Bible. Listen closely. This is not actual Christian doctrine. It's not what Jesus taught. It's not what the apostles taught. It's not what the church believed for over 1,800 years. This idea only crept in and around the 1800s through a man named John Nelson Darby and his new system of Bible interpretation. This was then spread to millions of American believers by the Scofield Reference Bible in 1909. It's a modern day invention of men, not the historic faith once delivered to the saints. And here's the clear truth straight from God's word. And that should settle it for every believer. The Apostle Paul, inspired by the Holy Spirit, tells us there is no difference between Jew and Gentile, or as long as we're all in Christ, right? We are all one family. Like in Galatians chapter 3, verses 28 and 29, the Bible says, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, neither male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. If you belong to Christ, then you are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. Did you hear that? Because you need to hear that.
That should settle it, dude.
I agree. I've been using that for quite some time now. And because when I had a lot of Christians for the past couple of years always say that, God's chosen people. And I'm like, I object to that premise, that the idea that
Christ objects to that premise.
Yes. But the idea that modern Israelites are a chosen people and are above us. I would never submit to that. Never. Sorry.
Paul corrected Peter for not eating with them and not treating them as equals for that very reason. They wouldn't go into a Gentile's home to sup with him, and the angel came to Peter and gave him a vision and told him there's no difference between any of them, and he went into the house after that. This is beyond the norm of, this is kind of Jewish supremacy. That's what it is. Let's just call it spade a spade. If you can't criticize me, if I'm Jewish, and you can't call out any of my lies, any of my BS, while I'm standing here telling you I'm superior to you, that is Jewish supremacy.
Yeah. I mean, I no objections there. And people want to assume that I lump every single Jewish person into that, and I don't. But
there's Jewish Christians.
But if you claim to be a part of that, then yeah, I'm going to judge you. But I judge a lot of Christians too. That's
who I'm talking to.
You look through a lens at, like, your past experiences and knowledge give you an idea of what this person is like and what they claim to be a part of. And if they claim to be a part of a certain group that has historically been, like anti-American, then I'm going to judge you. Sorry. But like, Okay, hold on. I just seen this thing, and I kind of want to bring this up just to hear what he has to say, because Tucker Carlson apparently, there's a lot of people that want to say that Tucker Carlson, has fallen off or whatever. But
I had to retreat. I had to retract that myself. I said it.
Well,
I retract it because I found out things that weren't true at all.
But if he becomes a shill for Muslims, like, I'm not down for that either. I don't like Muslims.
Nope.
I don't like them. So
nope.
But apparently, Tucker
but I can
Carlson,
like you and not agree with you, right? So there is that. I don't have to agree with every single thing you say in order to say, but you're okay.
It's a 20-second clip. It's very short, but it's live.
This is live.
Yeah, we're doing it right now. Right now.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
The message in our Bible, which is you are not God. And only if you think you are do you talk this way. But it's not just mockery of Islam. And no president should mock Islam. That's not your job. This is not a theocracy. We don't go to war with other theocracies to find out which theocracy is more effective. The message in
no, we should mock Islam.
I'm sorry, Islam is a theocracy.
Wokeness.
He needs to pick up that Quran, and to be forewarned is to be forearmed, and read it, because in that Quran you'll see that in their surahs they give they give pointers. They tell him essentially that if you cross the path of a non-believer, smite him in his throat until he's no more. It just over and over again filled with violence that is okayed by their God. And like I said before, a lot Muhammad sat around campfires hearing about Christianity secondhand from people that were just talking about it, and then he took what he got 600 years later. And then he wrote that down 600 years after the fact, when the gospels had already been established. And just to say, like, even if you are Islamic and you that's the route you take, your own book absolutely, how can I put this in the right way? It contradicts itself by saying that every word in the gospel is true. Well, if every word in the gospel is true, that means the Quran is not true. So it's a self-contradictory thing, the whole thing.
I wanted to address what Troll said here, because he's fairly anti-Christian, right? Or he's anti-religious. He believes that a lot of this stuff isn't true. But he says it creates wars, division, and groupthink. Groupthink alone isn't bad, but when you start using religion to justify BS, you're part of the problem. I think there's a flaw in your logic, thinking that the default of humans isn't groupthink and warring, because
secular kingdoms have waged war for years and it's killed just as many people. The Saxons, I mean,
that's what humans are. Humans are inherently religious. Okay, I make this argument all the time. There is an inherent nature in humans to be religious. If you see the world, if you believe that some actions are better than others, then you are a religious person. And it doesn't mean that you believe in like the Christian God, but your actions are religious, because if you take that, like if you believe that like me giving you a birthday cake is better than me kicking you in the shin and like, or kicking you in the balls and running away. Like if those two actions are different, if one is better than the other, then you have a set of values, because one is good and one is bad. Okay, now take that to its logical conclusion. You have an ultimate good and you have an ultimate evil. In Christianity, that's represented as Christ and Satan. Okay, that's a representation of the moral value that you have. And every action that you take is in between those two. You're either good like Jesus or evil like Satan. Now, just because you don't have a solid foundation of where those values are, good is here, evil's here. If you don't believe in that, if you think that you don't have a highest ideal, you do, and then you're subjected to an ever-changing ideal, to where your morals can shift with the way of the world, but you won't know. you won't fully understand what you're following. And like, there's a reason that they say that the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
Because you can absolutely do evil things
In
believing
the name
that
of good.
they're good. I mean, look at the entirety of the gender affirming care movement. They believe that they're helping children find themselves, but it's inherently anti-God. It's inherently, the movement itself is a rebellion against God, saying that God made a mistake putting me in this body and man can fix it. And so these people who are not Christians, they don't believe in that religious gobbledygook, but
Somebody's smart in the comments. I know what you're talking about, Raindrops. You're talking about when old Mustache Man burned all the LGBTQ books when he took over Germany. Yeah. Oh, it got the Pepe. Yeah, the Pepe frog. Yeah, the guy. I love it. I love it. Hey, listen, he's right though. Yeah, and you were right too. In a way, you said that values are subjective, and values are
very
subjective.
much so.
Values are subjective, but there are truths that should be congruent throughout every single viable culture. Don't steal. Don't murder. There are some things that no matter what religion or what thing you believe in should be consistent throughout our society. So we can have a society that actually works. We have to be able to say, this is good, this is bad. And as far as Christianity goes and wars of the past where, people have waged in the name of religion, I would say that those were men using the Bible to justify their wars, but the Bible itself doesn't justify those, because if you pick it up and read it, it actually is antithetical to everything the Bible teaches. And those are men. Those were specifically the Catholic Church. Nice. That's what it was, and it's never stopped. It's never stopped.
Catholicism is they believe a lot
scary.
Of funky things.
Yeah,
right?
it's freaking scary.
They believe,
I mean, yeah. I went to a mass once when I was very young, and I was searching for whatever it was, and I didn't know at the time, and I was a dyslexic agnostic, and I was walking around wondering if there was a dog. It was very hard for me to understand, but I knew as soon as I walked into that place with all the people kneeling, standing, sitting, kneeling, standing, sitting, and chanting, and this was weird, dude. It was like a black mass. I mean, it just felt evil. And everybody's walking around, that work there in these uniforms and robes, and I just got the most evil feeling just being there. But to be quite honest with you, I feel that way in a lot of the churches. I felt that way at CPAC when they had their worship session. They brought the actors in, right? And I call them actors because when they got on stage, they just all of a sudden came to life. I saw them when they walked off stage, and they didn't have that energy. That wasn't who they were. And I saw the people that were sitting in front of them worshiping, and it was very, very brainwashy. If to be quite honest with you, and I'm a guy who absolutely 100% believes the Bible literally, and I study it every single day. I promise you, I'm one of the ones who literally picks his Bible up and actually reads it daily, because I believe it. But I don't have the same theology as a lot of people, and I don't believe I should push my theology on anyone else. So if you don't believe it, those words aren't for you. I only judge other Christians, and it's not for the reason that most people would think. It's to put them back on the path, right? That's essentially what we judge them for. But we can't just let, like in the Lutheran Church and the UMC, go around ordaining gay ministers and people like that and talk about they're still Christian. It's ridiculous. No, I digress, though. We're talking about Steve Bannon, damn it. I don't know where we got off onto this. But...
Yeah. Well, Troll, really quick. I guess it'll be the last thing. He said, so you prove my point. Religion is being used now to wage war.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say the same
absolutely.
thing. Well, you could say the same thing about guns, right? It's like, if you want to use religion in that way, it's like saying guns kill people, right? Like that's the reason. It's the people that kill the people. Like if you wanted to get rid of guns, it's literally the same exact argument.
You just have a lot more stabbings.
Yeah. it's the people that do it, and people will always abuse it. And that, like, we live in a fallen world, but you can't say that. I mean, your assumption that these wars wouldn't be waged under the guise of something else. It's like, yeah, of course they're used. Guns can be used to defend yourself, and guns can be used to do evil acts, but it's not the gun itself that's doing it. And the same thing with Christianity. It's not the Bible that instructs people to go into a holy war across the ocean for Israel. No, it's the people just justifying their actions by cherry picking some verses here and there, and then convincing the masses. It's like, yeah, well, people are gullible, and
extremely
guns don't promote propaganda. Well, the Bible doesn't promote propaganda either. The Bible is solid. It's
people who interpret it wrong that you have the problem with, because the Bible is extremely simple. It's not very hard. And I think I have a different take on it than most people. I mean, you've heard me debate Christian issues with people before of other faiths, and I never leave the Bible. I go from verse to verse to verse to verse, where it usually gets right under their skin because they can't move me. But the thing is this.
I was actually able to witness this when we went down to Texas.
Yeah.
And Eddie there was like this long argument, and I was just kind of sitting watching.
About 2 hours
long. Hilarious. Yeah, it was hilarious to witness. But Eddie, he's got a lot more memorized to the Bible than I do. I don't have that kind of retention. I can't just pull verses out and recall all these things and say it word for word. So I don't usually. But what I've tried to do, and my best, is to learn a lesson from it and then be able to go back and reference it based on whatever lesson I got from it. So, but yeah. Anyway, this podcast is supposed to be about Bannon and why the hell Trump is considering pardoning him, because this was one of our big objections that we had to CPAC, is that in the Epstein files it came out that Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon was in the Epstein files. He worked with Epstein and Rudy Giuliani to try and help impeach Trump and to restore Epstein's image.
Yep. I mean, here's the image itself. I mean, there's this picture. This was all taken after the arrest, guys. All after the arrest.
Jeffrey Epstein hanging out with former Trump advisor Steve Bannon, but the latest batch reveals a far more personal relationship between these two men. In hundreds of text messages and emails between them, their relationship and close friendship is apparent, including in this text exchange from July 6, 2019. In those messages, Bannon and Epstein discuss getting together the following day. But when Bannon proposes a time, Epstein abruptly calls off their plans, writing, quotes, "all canceled." Epstein had been arrested by federal authorities for sex trafficking minors. Bannon first met Epstein after the 2016 election, according to journalist Michael.
2016. When did Epstein get in trouble? Late 2008, early 2009. So it's not like he didn't know.
His 2019 book, Siege, Trump Under Fire. Wolf wrote that Bannon, the architect of Trump's improbable win, told Epstein, quote, "You were the one person I was truly afraid of coming forward during the campaign." Epstein grew deeply invested in Bannon's attempts to spread right-wing populism all over the globe, offering contacts, advice, and access to his plane. Bannon, meanwhile, seemed eager to take advantage of his new friends. One point in July 2018, he asked him in a text message, quote, "Do you know anyone in Europe that wants to control the European Parliament and with it the EU?" At times, Epstein and Bannon reflected on their consequential partnership. Like when they had overlapping interests in Israel, Epstein wrote to Bannon, quote, "Now you can understand why Trump wakes up in the middle of the night sweating when he hears you and I are friends."
Before publishing this story, I reached out to Steve Bannon for comment, and he did not.
Ooh.
He didn't respond to you either, did he?
No, he didn't respond to me either. As a matter of fact, he quite ignored me while I was on the stage. And I was pretty loud too. I'm not going to lie, I was loud. Everyone watching that live, it was apparent. I was right in front of the stage. And so that's not the only text message that the two of them had back and forth. Now, I've said it before, I say it again for the context of this show. Bannon texted Epstein and told him they wanted to impeach Trump and they wanted to remove Mike Pence and put Pompeo and Pence's place, and then used the 25th Amendment to take Trump out, making Pompeo president. The other person that was mentioned on that text, there was actually two people mentioned on the text, Ivanka and Rudy being Rudy Giuliani. And he said, because when Epstein asked him, have you shopped this around? He said, yeah, I spoke to Rudy in the text. So, and Rudy said, as long as we leave Ivanka alone, he doesn't have a problem with it. Right. And this takes us right back to that little country again, because who's Ivanka married to? Jared Kushner. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but at the end of the first Trump term, Kushner was let go. No one's seen Ivanka or Kushner in at the White House or around the Trump campaign, because Kushner was enriching himself while he was working for Trump. During the pandemic, he was putting his name on contracts for the respirators they were bringing into the country. Got a $2 billion investment from Saudi Arabia. Trump, because it was family, quietly just distanced himself, and you didn't see him in the second go around, and no one questioned it. And and this is verifiable on the podcast, got this information straight from a very good source. At the time, somebody was close enough to understand to General Flynn, which was Ivan Raiklin. And that dude has more receipts than Walmart. It's crazy how much stuff that guy knows. And I mean, I'm usually not, stunned into silence. But when he was on, damn, dude, I mean, he just like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah. Okay. I want to bring this up before we get too far away from it. He said, genuine question. Are you guys pro-Trump or anti? And I think that framing itself there is wrong, because we both campaigned really hard for Trump, because we believed that he was going to do what he said he was going to do. Actually, You know what? I would say we hoped. But after this past year, what we've witnessed, I mean, it's never been about Trump, but I obviously campaigned for him really hard. I mean, we had full faith in him, because it was my belief that after he got shot, that he was going to fulfill his promises and actually take apart the deep state. But then, with the fumble of the Epstein files and no deep state arrests and
telling his people to stop talking about mass deportations and all of this, is just like he's like throwing the midterms. Is intention? I don't know if it's intentional or not, but the people around him catching the blame for the things that he hasn't done is kind of also worrisome. Like firing Bondi, firing Kristi Noem. These are using them as scapegoats for the things that he's not doing, when he said it right out of his own mouth. He thought that the Epstein files was a Democrat hoax. Yeah. This is crazy.
I mean, so like I've always called myself a free thinking patriot. And so I've never been like, Trump was never like the final solution, right? Like, he wasn't a guy that was going to fix everything. And I knew that he was going to be hindered in a way, but I didn't expect him to do what he's done. I didn't expect him to completely fold and then be beholden to his advisors, I guess. I should have gotten a hint when, 2020 during the government lockdowns, and he kind of was all for the vaccine, and like, he made a lot of mistakes back then. And I was willing to forgive those if he came out hard this time, because it's like, okay, you have now a final 4 years. So it's
I see. I know. And it's Israel. Let's just call it what it is. Iran drops. It's Israel. Look at the people he's pardoned. Look at the situation that we're in. Look at who's connected to the Epstein files. Go look at people like Andrew Farka, and I have done my due diligence on those files.
Even if you just look at body language, okay? So body language, you know what Trump does when he meets somebody and he has to like extend his hand out to shake their hand? You know what he does? He pulls them in. And Joe Rogan talked about this famously, how he like knew it was coming and like stopped it. But every time Trump grabs her hand and pulls him in, it's like a power move. It was a couple weeks ago, or like maybe 2 months ago, when Mark Levin like pulled Trump in and was like,
manhandled him,
Israel's president, and was like shaking him around. And I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, I've never seen that happen to Trump. What happened where he's literally just, he's like, this guy's Israel's president right here, you know, and I couldn't believe it. It blew me away because I didn't think that I didn't.
And
think
Trump
that he
and
was,
Levin hated Trump. Let's just call it what it is. Levin did not like Trump
until very recently.
He was never a Trump fan, and it's just gotten to the point now where it's like we want to be able to tell you guys the honest truth and report on things that we know to be true. And sometimes they are going to be in the pro category, and sometimes they'll be in the con category. Just depends on what the situation is. If you look at the body of the man and just say, oh, he's all good or all bad, that doesn't apply to anybody. Not even one person. I mean, not even Hitler. Let's just call it what it is. It doesn't apply to anyone on earth. If and as far as what Shannon said earlier, you think there are reasons for this? No, the whole idea that Trump is playing some kind of 5D chess that no one else is playing, and you're just, no, I don't believe that at all. I did hear
that was Q, and like, I know a bunch of people that believe this, and they're saying
still
that,
do,
still do, and they're saying that, like, Trump is saving Israel for last. But the problem that I have with this is that everybody he's appointed is now being fired or removed or quitting. Like, Dan Bongino quit, and he's doing the bidding of the deep state as well.
Mm-hmm. He blocked me.
He blocked me too. It's in my opinion that he is the new Operation Mockingbird. He's just the new iteration of it, right? Mm-hmm. So he's there to steer the masses back to Trump's favor, regardless of whether, what he promised and what he failed to deliver. And then Pam Bondi got fired. Kristi Noem is corrupt, and so she got fired. And there's rumors that Kash Patel's going to be fired too.
Yeah,
so
I just heard those.
If there is some 5D chess going on, why would he be firing all the leadership? Wouldn't they be, like, working solidly behind the scenes to be getting this stuff done? Apparently not, because they're all getting fired.
Yeah, because they are being tossed to the wolves for the things that he's yet to do. He's trying to say they're the reason this is not happening. They failed too.
Yet. They failed as well. Like,
yeah.
I when Dan Bongino and Kash Patel did that dual meeting, coming out saying Epstein killed himself.
Maria Bartiromo
Epstein definitely killed himself. Based on what, dude? What changed? All that fiery passion he had. Never let up on this. Don't let up on this, because people know. And
question everything.
And they released, like, this bullshit footage with missing shit that's been edited. And after
then they released two more clips.
Were all dead. Yeah, fuck that. No, it's all bullshit. And the fact that he is, like, he's bent the knee, obviously, because he didn't come out and say, hey, we need to go after the deep state. He came out, his mission when he returned to podcasting was, I'm going to go after the black pillars and the anti-MAGA. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? That's not our enemy. The people doubting you because you haven't done shit. The people that are saying, what, like, you were in a head position in the FBI and you didn't do anything. Oh, they got some gang members from fucking Venezuela off the streets. Congratulations. That's not our main problem here.
Ilhan Omar still in office. Rashida Tlaib still in office. We got a lot of people that are still in office, and they're absolutely criminals. And there's a lot of problems here at home. There's fraud, waste, abuse, and I know very well that if Kamala, this is the thing. Even knowing what I know now, would I go back and vote for him again? Unfortunately, yes, because the alternative was so much worse. But I'm still not in agreement with what he's doing.
Yeah, no. But that's another thing. It's like, he's in power now. Now is the time you criticize him. Now is the most important time to criticize him.
Yes. And this is true. He doesn't like yes men. That's a fact. But in all honesty, I got rid of I don't have any MAGA gear anymore. None that I don or put on.
I don't put it on anymore.
I won't do it.
I stopped wearing it a while ago. Just because it, like, okay, I campaigned for him. I wanted him to get in office because I was hopeful in what he said that he was going to follow through with it. But now that he's in, yeah, there it is.
Here it is. Watch.
It's literally pulling him.
And he loves Israel too.
Sure.
2 seconds. 6 years ago, I was up here, and I said, "This is our first Jewish president." Now he's the first Jewish president to serve two not consecutive presidencies. We thank you for everything, and you are the greatest president. Thank you very much. And God bless you.
Yeah, no, he's actually Scottish. Just putting that out there. He's not Jewish.
I don't care. I don't like him.
But, you know, Mark Levin was a never Trumper. Hell, even J.D. Vance was once upon a time a never Trumper. But these guys are all, this is just indicative of what we keep going back to. The CPAC is exactly what they were doing. They were pushing this narrative. Toe the line. I obviously I've always got a certain amount of pushback. Maurice has always got a certain amount of pushback on the internet. It's to be expected. But since we've took this particular stand and started talking about this stuff openly, I've never seen so much pushback. I got people on other platforms I never heard of talking about me on YouTube and everything else. And it's fine. If I live in your head rent free, on you, I don't care. I'm going to keep telling you the truth. And the truth is, being an anti-Zionist is not anti-Semitic. It's not. The two are completely different things.
Semites.
The original Jewish people.
You know, so not the Ashkenazis that are occupied.
Oh my God, no, he didn't. Oh man,
I'm
I
just
can't
curious.
No.
I'm just curious. I'm trying to figure this stuff out, man. I'm very confused. I hear a lot of things online. And
Ryan on.
It's all
Ryan can break that shit down for you better than anybody. So can Ian Carroll. But yeah, no, it's a lot of what we've been told as far as what that country is and what it stands for and how they came to be and who backed it and all that kind of stuff. None of it's true. I mean, hell, there even Bibi Netanyahu's last name is in question. To be quite, it's literally in question. I've heard other names, and it ends with a ski. Doesn't end with a who. it ends with a ski. He went to school here in America. He went to MIT when he raised up right here in America. But there's, you know, even in the offset of this, and me being offset was very pro-Israeli. I was taught that this is what you had to be if you were a Christian. This is where Jesus is from. You got to stand up for it and you have to protect it and you have to do. And I even interviewed IDF soldiers in the offset of this whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the whole 40-minute video that they put out was propaganda. There were no babies being beheaded. There, none of that. But there was a stand down on October the 7th, and that was made quite abundantly clear. And IDF soldiers have attested to this, and other people in Israel attested to this. And the fact that Bibi Netanyahu sent money to Qatar to hand off to Hamas in the months, a year prior leading up to October the 7th. And he basically funded his own invasion. I mean, all of these things are verifiably true. They're verifiably true. So am I an anti-Semite for telling you the truth? The truth is the truth. It doesn't matter who says it. There are plenty of Jewish people telling you the same exact thing that I'm telling you right now. And they're in Israel and they're saying it. They almost had a damn civil war over there because of what Netanyahu was doing. And he changed their constitution. And they're not very happy with this guy. Matter of fact, if you remember, right before he was reelected, he was tossed out. And the only reason that he's still pushing to stay in office, according to Trump, is that when he leaves office, they're going to put this in prison. They're going to put him in prison. That's what, and he's telling them, you better not. Like, what? I'm just got to ask the question, as you asked it earlier, and it's a valid question. Has Trump been compromised?
I mean, The Trump that we saw before the camp, before he got into presidency this time, and the Trump that's there now, I don't know. It's like they're two different people.
Like Jim Carrey, kind of two different people, or
I don't think that a body double could do what Trump actually does consistently, because Trump is so unique in the way that he speaks and moves his hands and does all the things, but he's not this. There's something that scared the shit out of him that changed him in a weird way.
Hold up.
I don't like it.
What are you saying, Mississippi Kid? You're okay with the pardon for Bannon? Mississippi Kid on X. You're saying that you're good with a pardon for Bannon, who worked behind the scenes to impeach Trump with Epstein and Pompeo and Rudy Giuliani, proven fact. And he worked to repair the image of a pedophile, and he was platformed by CPAC, and now the pardon is being floated, and you think that's a good idea?
Got to learn all that. Like, before you jump on that train, learn everything about Bannon, because him and Epstein were good friends. His words, not mine.
Yep. Yeah, he was going to put out a documentary movie with him, all to repair his image, coached him on how to talk to the press, all of this stuff. And all we're doing is saying, you know what? We're not right. We're not left, red, blue, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, none of that. Just the truth. This is what this is about. It's just about the honesty of everybody involved. There are so many people willing to bow down to the rhinos within this party that they won't call the party out because they're too afraid that the left will take it. And if we're just stuck with the lesser of two evils in every situation, what the hell are we doing? Thank you, Diddy Girl. Thank you, Diddy.
Appreciate that.
I Mississippi Kid is oddly quiet after all of that.
I it's probably because he
didn't know. And a lot of people don't. They just they turn on Fox News and they get the indoctrination and they never look any further.
Well, I remember when we went to CPAC last year, and Bannon was a big part of it. And I remember sitting in the room with you.
I didn't like him then.
Well, yeah, we literally had that discussion as we were watching him. It's like, why is this guy a big deal? Like, he doesn't seem right.
I thought he was a punk, to be honest with you, because he talked all that shit about Elon Musk, and then he shared the stage with him, and all the energy was gone. Elon Musk is un-American and evil, and then Elon Musk comes out on stage with a damn chainsaw, and then next thing you know, Bannon's on stage with him, and trust me, I fully believe that Elon Musk confronted him. There's no way in hell, dude. Elon Musk confronted this dude.
Hey, so we only got a couple minutes left, and so I want to get this video to you, and I want to get your opinion on it, because I don't think you're going to like
this homeless dude down there I'm looking at?
No, it's Tucker Carlson's guest. So Tucker,
who the hell did he get? Somebody out of back alley?
I don't remember his name, but Tucker Carlson, I have so many objections with him, like as of late. Okay, he said some good things, but there's been a lot of stuff where I'm like, this dude is like, I don't know what he's doing. But so let's just get this out there, okay? Let's see.
Dude, that guy's homeless as hell.
Yeah, he does look.
I would actually argue, and this is a bold statement, the Democratic Republic is the greatest government experiment in the history of humanity. I would say
I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
You've enjoyed it. Yeah. So we enjoy it. I love America. You love America.
I do.
Capitalism should not be anywhere near Christianity.
You think?
Christianity is more, and I don't like the word socialist with the weight it carries, but Christianity is socialism at its core.
Non-authoritarian.
Yes. It's true.
It's the marker to build social capital. You look at that early Church of Acts, and it transformed Rome within a couple hundred years, the greatest superpower of its time, to where Constantine was like, I'm a Christian hanging out with these dudes. They had no money. They had no buildings. But somehow the love of their neighbor transformed the greatest superpower of its time. That's dangerous. I would actually argue, and this is a bold.
Yeah,
so
no, he's not wrong. No, it's true. See, when after Acts chapter 2, all the people that were baptized, it was 3,000 people that were baptized, and they moved into a community, and they sold all their possessions for the benefit of the entire community that they lived in. What he doesn't tell you is later on, Paul, on his after the road to Damascus incident, had to go on to other places in Ephesus and many other places, and he was always collecting money to send back to Jerusalem because they sold all their stuff, and they were basically begging money because they were broke. So yes, at its core, in the beginning, when the Levites took 10% of all the crops and whatever you did was to feed the community, and it was all because they lived in a communal area, and the church was the central part of that. The guy who ran it was more like the judge. They didn't go to a regular court system, and Christians are not supposed to go to one either. We're not supposed to sue each other. Literally, Bible says this. So we're supposed to be loving toward one another, and that's how we're supposed to be identified, by the way we treat each other. But the idea that today's Christianity is supposed to be a socialist, it's got some socialism in it, as far as you're supposed to have a good heart, big heart, help your neighbor if they need anything. You're not supposed to turn them down if you have it, and that sort of thing.
That's like community. That's it's not like I don't see that as socialism. And okay, maybe I just,
it's not
really,
hardcore socialism. No, because it's
I just really object to the word
church.
Socialism. Maybe, and
it's just within the church, though. It's not within the country. It's within the church.
Family and tribe, like this shit that I promote. It's like you're supposed to help out. Yeah, I mean,
it's not supposed to permeate government at all.
Yeah. Like I had my buddy come over and he helped me wire my generator into my house. And you know what I gave him? I gave him a 6-pack of beer.
That's good currency right there, dude.
That's good currency. I'll tell you what. So if that's what he means by socialism, right? Like, then I could understand it. But yeah, I don't think that I mean, he did say that I don't like the weight,
but he's wrong about capitalism not being embedded into Christianity either, because it says don't muzzle an oxen while he's working, which means if you're working, you're supposed to be paid for what you do. That was the whole purpose of that particular parable. So he can't just say that in full stop. There are other verses in there that, it's just like in the United States. If you go too far to the right, you got fascism. If you go too far to the left, you got communism, right? There has to be a happy medium where you can't have a society that doesn't have some semblance of a socialistic tendency in it. And you can't have a society that is full-blown authoritarian either. They have to be a good balance, and they have to work together. But the idea that, there's never going to be a utopia in this world. And as long as people keep pushing for the utopia in this world, we're going to have liberal compassion, and it's going to exacerbate mental illness and issues, and it's going to overlook things that are for the betterment of society, like for the immigration issue. Liberal compassion says, let these people come in. They just want to be have great jobs and good lives, and that no, they don't. And when you look at people in the trans community, even the most professional ones, and you don't call out a problem, you don't say anybody's crazy, then what happens? Here, watch this. This is a great example. Here's a lawyer.
Your Honor, which we
hold up. Oh, your thing is still on the stage. Oh, there it is.
My bad.
Here's a lawyer. Just watch.
This is clear.
It's over me or shout at me.
I'm not putting it on there.
No, we're stopping. Get out of my face, sir. Get out of my face, sir. Get out of my face.
You should leave this county.
Get out of my face. Get out of my face.
These people are my friends, and you're being ugly.
And get out of my face.
What is happening here?
Why?
So this is a trans lawyer who came in to defend somebody, and it went from being a professional situation to he's a victim because he's trans, right? And it's not about what he said or what he did to bring this on himself. that this is exactly
he shouted at me.
The victimhood bullshit.
No, I'm not being. You did not even say that I was in.
You are indirect.
No, I'm not
Judge,
doing
I
my stuff.
apologize, but I felt very threatened.
Here, I'm gonna fast forward because it's a little bit of a long clip.
What are you doing? You're hurting me! You're hurting me! You just hit me! You just hit me! Don't hit me! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
Put your hand behind your
I
back.
cannot breathe!
Oh
I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
He's doing a lot of talking for not being able to breathe. But yeah, I mean, that's what happens when we stopped telling people they were crazy. And we started giving them law degrees, and we started teaching them this in school, and now we got litter boxes in the damn classroom because you're too afraid to say the kid's not a damn cat or a dog, right? And now now we've generalized the values. It does sound possessed.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I like your wording there. That was good.
My buddy Jimmy used to say they have gay demons. Gay demons.
Oh,
but it's
geez.
true, man. We need to get back to a time where we're just, that's crazy, that's not, that's good, that's bad. And we have to be able to say, this is what we agree on. And remember that word normal? Now you can't even use it anymore, because if you say that's normal or this is normal, then you got to be saying that the other thing is not normal, right? But it's real
that's
simple.
exactly what I'm saying.
Right, but exactly, but they take that as a dig, right? So it's like, if I have 100 people in front of me and I say, okay, here's vanilla ice cream and chocolate ice cream, and I go right down the list of these 100 people and I poll them and I say, well, 80% of them like chocolate ice cream. Well, then it's normal for you to like chocolate ice cream. We beat the 51%, right? So I can absolutely say it is not normal to be a trans. It is not normal for a kid to think it's a dog or a cat. And beyond not normal, if we're not saying, hey, you need to get this kid some help, get him to talk to a psychiatrist, get him in somewhere, get him on some meds instead of exacerbating the condition. Or like the one lady who has 4 kids, they were all under the age 6 and they were all trans. She was dressing up an infant that was a little girl like a little boy. This is the brain dead shit that is happening today, because people are too afraid to say that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how people got like this. I got to be honest.
Did people stop telling the truth? Started caring more about their feelings? Started giving out participation trophies so no one loses? This is how it all happened. It started with the participation trophies.
Well, that's Gen X and Boomers.
No,
fault.
it wasn't Gen X.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't.
Who gave millennials their participation trophies? It was Gen X.
The
and
millennials
Boomers.
didn't get participation trophies. It wasn't until a little bit later.
They did.
I ain't
They
taking the blame
started
for this
that.
shit, man.
And I'm sorry, Eddie. I'm sorry, but you're like, okay. So there was the early portion of Gen X and like late Boomers that had kids. They endorsed that idea of participation trophies. Okay. And it was forced onto millennials, and half the millennials saw through it. The other half got completely fucked. Like half of the millennial generation is they're lost. They're just screwed. And it's like, I do blame them a bit, but also I blame the past generations for doing it. Like when I hear Gen X or Boomers being like, it's all your participation trophies and shit. It's like, bitch, I was fucking 6 years old getting a participation trophy. It wasn't my choice. What the hell?
Yeah.
I didn't do that. Everybody, they put it on me. All right, that's not my fault. But I saw right through that because I was a competitive kid.
I hated losing. I could not stand. Still can't. Don't like it. But I went to my grandson's soccer game the other day, and we were talking. I was like, "When's the championship game?" And they looked at me crazy. I'm like, "Championship game? What the hell are they playing for?" Well, they don't get to the championship games until next year. And the 10-year-olds are still a little too young to be losing, right? Essentially. No, they're not. I played Little League at that age, and I was on the Dodgers. And I remember the first year I played, we came in last place. Well, that was the last time that happened because it happened. It happened.
Exactly. I remember in 4th grade. Okay, so I was a 4th grader. I was playing on the 5th grade team. And I remember we got first place. We were the Yankees, all right? And the last game of the season was the championship, and I made like a 7th inning catch. It was the final catch of the game. It was like an over the wall catch, and it was like the highlight of my young baseball career.
Right? Yeah,
but
I bet
it was epic, and it was one of those moments where like we won the championship and like we won that game because I caught that home run that he almost hit. Like it was one of those moments that like if there was nothing to play for, I don't think that I would have even been in that position to make that play. And
No,
it wouldn't have mattered the same.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered because catch it or don't catch it, you're in the same position you were before.
Yeah, no,
And it's important. It's important. And I don't know what I did with my baseball trophies, but I remember the first year I didn't get one, and that wasn't happening again. And you need to have losers, and you need to have winners, and you need to have people that fail, and you need to have people who succeed. Because all of our look, Michael Jordan didn't even make the junior varsity team. And because he didn't make the junior varsity team, that's why we had Michael Jordan.
Who's that?
Stop playing games. Don't know who Michael Jordan is. Crazy.
All right, I got to get out of here. I got to go eat dinner and then hang out with my kid for a bit.
But yeah, we'll close with saying this, guys. It's only about the truth. We do not follow politicians. We're not an acolyte of any particular politician whatsoever. If Israel does some shit we don't like, we're going to call it out. If Iran does some shit we don't like, we're going to call it out. If Europe does some shit we don't like, we're going to call it out. We are not against or for anybody. We are for and against our values. That's it. That's where the line stops. That's where the buck stops. There is no hatred for Jewish people. There is definite criticism of their government, though. And I have plenty of Jewish brothers and sisters in Christ. So that is exactly how I feel about it. So there's no anti-Semitism in me, because to be an anti-Semite, you actually have to hate someone for just being their race or ethnicity that they are. And that's not something that as a Christian or as a human being that I'm ever going to condone.
Fair enough.
But and no pardon for Bannon. If he pardons Bannon, that's just like one step too far for me. And there will be no way that I'll believe that somehow or another this guy's not compromised, and that Bannon has something or knows something being close to Epstein. And this will make the conspiracy theorists like me brain explode.
Well, it's really hard not to be a conspiracy theorist right now because, well, first of all, most of them have been proven true. But secondly, with Trump doing this 180 and acting weird and pardoning people that shouldn't be pardoned and getting super involved in the Middle East, it's going to be really difficult not to theorize that he's compromised by something in the Epstein files, by, whatever he did. Yeah. That he's protecting with the potentially World War III, because if you didn't know this, the Pentagon press meeting has been canceled for tomorrow.
I thought that was tonight.
I think it was tomorrow morning when they were supposed to do it, but it's been canceled. So I think that they're gonna fucking start blowing up a bunch of shit, and it's gonna just escalate everything.
It makes no sense. Makes no sense. We should leave Iran. We did what whatever we went there to do, we did. They don't have a nuclear program anymore. They said regime changes happened and they're trying to work with the new one. So the two things that we went there for, we did. And
apparently we gave guns to a bunch of people that were supposed to give them to the rebels to take over the regime. Never gave it to them. So we just armed another random group.
Sounds like ISIS all over again.
Yeah, weird. We keep giving people guns and they use them against us. It's fucking weird. Yeah, no shit.
Here's some magazines. Here's some bullets. Here's some. Yeah, guys. So, stay on your P's and Q's. Actually go read the news yourself. And then when you read it, go do further research on it. Don't just take the bylines of Fox News or any news company or anybody, really. Go do your own research, because there are too many brainwashed people out there and you don't want to be amongst them. You want to be able to be a critical thinker and stand on your own 2 feet and defend your beliefs and know what they are, know what you stand for, and don't make it to where you're standing for something because the next guy is standing for that. Or I want to stand for this because I get more likes and clicks and follows and that kind of stuff. That's bullshit too. Don't do that. actually stand for something, right? Have some principles, have some values, and don't leave this earth and have to look God in the face and tell him that you were just too pussy to actually stand up for something that was true or real, or you were too lazy to go find out what was true or real. It's right at your fingertips. Every one of us got a phone, and I can tell you just about anything you want to know off of that phone in a couple of minutes. So do your research. You want to close it out?
I like the way you closed it out.
Okay.
I love that your line.
My little sign off.
Yeah.
So
I
you
use
guys,
it all the time, man.
so you guys already know. The silent majority, you need to stop being silent and stand your ground, because evil never retreats willingly. It must be beaten back. Guys, have a great night. Stay safe. God bless.
Midnight gears hum low. Guitars bend, pads breathe in the slow.